Hello and welcome everybody. We're here with the Digital Dialogues, and today we're going to speak about how the entire digital aspect of the digital realm is affecting us. When we speak about technology, we want to understand everything that goes into making things possible for us. And that is exactly what this conversation will do. And to do that, I have with me Dr. Avadhut Parab, who is the CMO for Parle Agro. Thank you very much, Dr. Parab, for joining me in this conversation. So my first question to you, and as you've been telling people, that we are going to speak about technology and how it impacts us. Would you walk us through your opinion on how this and technology shown in the great transformer? So how this transformative power technology has impacted organizations at large?
Thank you so much. I think today, if you take any organization, what are the three elements? Organization fits in some industry. It carries the attributes of that industry. That organization has a process. And today we talk about a digital technology playing a vital role in an organization for those processes. Be it a transaction process, be it the operations process, and we talk about the growth side processes, we talk about manufacturing process, so many processes. Now it's very interesting. When we talk about digital, just let's imagine about these three vertexes. One is the technology, second is the process, and in industry. Now in any organization, while we're talking about digital disruption, the first thing what any organization should do or is doing is they try and intersect process and technology. So when you intersect process and technology, what gets created is the business value. And that business value will start using a better technology, using AI, ML, or it could be any of the new generation technology, the disruption begins. So what we also as an organization, we are focusing more where my business value can be generated. And digital is not just about technology. We don't bring technology for the sake of bringing technology, but technology has to generate a value, and that business value should be a disruptor for organization. So that's one side of the focus. The second side of the focus is this process which I have an organization, and if my organization is in, let's say, FMCG, or it could be pharma, or it could be automobile, then when I marry a process with that industry in which I'm there, I create a template for my organization, which is again a digital disruption happens. And if I keep doing this in a larger scale, I create an industry template, which is a digital. So this is another disruption which I. And third disruption is where industry marries the technology. If this intersection happens, then what happens is the platforms takes a birth. Technology platform takes a birth, and then anybody can scale. So those are not solutions, those are platforms. So this is how organization, if they think about intersecting process, technology, and industry, you would end up in a lot of contextual solutions, contextual business value, and the organization will truly become a digital.
Phenomenal, and actually a very familiar way of looking at it. And while we're talking about this entire gamut of things where there is the intersection of technology, industry, and processes that is happening, and the inherent transformation that is happening within all these things, there is perhaps the entire process redefinition that is happening with technology at the core. And while we're doing that, the next call to fitting your mom is the human capital. How do you think this entire exercise of marrying technology to processes and technology to industry affects the human-centric attitude?
When we go. Now what happens is, while we're looking at this triangle, there's another equilateral triangle we talk about, the people, process, technology. Again, only industry changes. Now this is good when you are working with an IT transformation and not digital transformation. You know, what is the difference between IT and digital? IT focuses more on process. I am converting a process which is manual to an electronic system. Yeah. Digital start with the data, input as a data, not as a process. So that's a big difference. Now, while we're doing this, people, process, technology gets married very easily because they know the process, they're converting that process into that. But that triangle does not fit into the digital. Digital, the same triangle become mindset, people set, and skill set. So unless now the very people who are in the organization looks digital as going to be disrupting to create a value and not able to lose the job. That's a mindset is to change. And how do we change this mindset is there needs to be a proper orientation to the people, because people are moving from electronic system to a digital disruption. So that orientation has to happen, and this orientation should not be one tool for everyone. It has to be at different strata of the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, because they are more worried, their jobs may get it. So they need to be trained differently. The organization who takes it cannot be IIMs training the bottom of the pyramid, or the IIT's institute training. That there will be other institutes which are the middle tier of the organization where they are going to do handling all this digital. Let them be get trained from a better institute like technical like IITs or the statistical, and the top apex where they are constant in the thought of strategy. They should not be trained by someone who is like a technologist. They should undergo sometimes IIMs or be good peaceful. So this is how orientation should happen too in context with the role. So that's the first thing. The second thing comes the people set. Now, based on the experience of the people who are doing some analysis or doing some good thing, they need to be reorient for their job description and have the collective, that's called people set. And based on this mindset and people set, you start building the skills of the people. So now you're changing the triangle of people, process, technology, and overlay with the mindset, skill set, and people set. So that's very much, unless this happens, all digital projects are going to go in a different direction. So that's my take on that.
And quite brilliant at that, I must say, and I totally agree with you. And while all of this is happening, we've spoken about the people, processes, and technology, and we've spoken about overlaying it with the mindset, skill set, and people set. And having said that, while an organization is going through these phases of changes, grappling with everything that is happening and the structure is happening and speed, how does the organization still fit in the compliant manner?
Yeah, that's very interesting, because today, you take any industry, everybody has to certify themselves to the level of the operations there. It could be even automobile will talk about I am ISO certified. What does that mean? Or pharma will say I am US FDA compliant, or I will say MHRA compliant, or somewhere like FMCG or the food and beverage, they will say FSSAI standard, and whatever standards we talk about. Because what does that mean is, in the absence of the authorities, I still maintain the standard of my quality when I serve to consumer, when I serve to my patients, when I serve to my customers. So whichever industry. Now with this as the thing, it is very important that in the digital era, what are the new emerging technology? What the today is, they talk about automation, which means I introduce bots. I take the digital systems becoming more predictive in nature, becoming more cognitive in nature, which means they are taking decision on behalf of the people, on behalf of the employee, on behalf of some decision maker, because they are now, if everything matches, yes, it's approved. So somebody is taking a decision. So it's a time now for all our companies to treat this bot as a digital employee in the organization is important. Now, why compliance comes into the picture? Because when you're talking about somebody is taking, a non-human is taking a decision through automation or robotic process automation, how do you take care of the false positive or false negative? You need to define that. It would be through some kind of control, through that of audits. And this is very important, because let's take an example of a pharma industry. Pharma industry, what is the three critical ingredient people talk about, the auditors talk about? Patient safety, data integrity, product quality. If these three get tampered by any means because of a false positive or false negative, that patient safety is at risk. So this cannot be an answer. So compliance becomes by design. It has to get integrated from day one. In the event of error margin, how my compliance will take care of the false positive or false negative. And for that, we talk about something called process validation. and if there are any plus and minuses, how system will have a controls which you come with. And the project will be validated, but during the life stage, it should also talk about maintaining the validated system. So these are the two concepts today you will see in the industry, especially in pharma. Validate the system, but that system should maintain its validated system when in the live state or the production environment. So just to conclude, compliance cannot be left at the at technology, but it needs a overlay of quality assurance or the compliance assurance layer, so that technology and the compliance go in hand to give a patient safety or consumer safety data integrated product line.
Fantastic. And quite eye-opening at that, because we've never had it laid down as simply as you have done. And this sort of phenomenal conversation. Thank you very much, Parle, for taking us through this lovely conversation that has perhaps redefined a lot of concepts in our mind to take us through this lovely transition that we are all on. When digital transformation is a journey that we are on, and yes, there are miles to go before we actually reach the end state of things. So on that note, thank you, Aishwarya, again.
Pleasure.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we sign off from this episode of Digital Dialogues. Look forward to hearing you at the next one.